I feel like BDD just convinced everyone watching that Seismic Shove is point and click. It just seemed like he didn't miss. Pretty fantastic game from him. Doctam as well on the Corki, played like an absolute psychopath.
That's what you got to do on Corki.
But he was like unhinged. Like Valkyrie. There was that moment when
playing like Diablo,
and he Valkyried in. Yeah, we had the discussion earlier. Who's the most aggressive AD carry in the league? Based on last game, it's Doctam.
I didn't think about Doctam.
Purely on last game, Doctam, but small sample size. Going to this draft though, T1 on blue side. And I will say, there were some great picks for KT in that game one. The Rumble, obviously a great pick for Perfect. The Talia for BDD, of course. So we'll see what they can get their hands on this time around. Azir banned away. Yunara and Pantheon were banned on red side by T1. So I imagine KT will have to give them a look. But does leave a lot of things open that were banned away last time. Nico, Poppy, and Wukong was what KT banned on blue side. T1 got in a bit of a different direction. Banning right now Ryze and Jarvan. Yeah,
I think the Jarvan's fair. We've seen it have a lot of value nowadays, and it can be very good into Silver, but also into other AD carries.
That's setting up a Varus first pick, I think.
Yeah.
Often see Sivir picked in a Varus, so they want the Varus left open. This is time for KT to decide. Do you ban the Varus and trade junglers, Wukong for Pantheon, which we've seen Pantheon be favored this week. We saw a lot of Pantheon left open. He seemed to have the edge. Or do you ban, say, Pantheon, they take Varus, you take Wukong, and you just try and kill that Varus with the engage? They're going to ban the Varus. So that means T1, you get choice of junglers. We presume it's going to be the Pantheon.
Pantheon.
But we've seen teams prioritize the Wukong instead.
Don't do that. I mean, you do have an option if you want to set up something, but it's generally better to go for Pantheon.
That's what we would say is the correct decision. Pantheon extremely strong, capable of doing just 1 million damage, and that global pressure does make me think as well. Galio being open and available, Pantheon Galio is a very scary mid jungle to play into. KT could go Wukong Annie though. Wukong Annie, pretty strong combo.
Oh, the Ryze group.
The Ryze combo, yeah. Really powerful level of engage if you pair those two together. They could also try and, deny the Galio away if they're scared of that double global mid jungle. We'll see what they opt to go for. Looks like the Wukong Annie, the Ryze group combo. I mean, it's just so much engage threat.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting for BDD, who just played Talia, who's a champion that has a lot of finesse, and then now he plays Annie.
Yeah,
and Galio's available in his Faker.
I feel like that's a thing in the Legend group. I feel like the drafts, they make a lot of sense, but they do just come through so much more. They're a bit easy to predict. The Gwen, especially with Rumble and Aurora got in the first draft, comes through, and Aurora, a good matchup. Sorry, not Aurora, Ambessa, a good matchup into the Gwen, one we've seen often banned away when you're trying to get your hands on the Gwen, so I imagine Perfect will just lock this one in. Yeah. And both teams, I think, getting a lot of power in their top side. The Pantheon, obviously, incredibly strong. Double global mid-jungle. That Gwen who can scale up, but the Wukong Annie is such good engage, as is the Ambessa. I'm concerned for what Guma's going to play as AD carry, because they are banning the Bard. What are you going to play that's going to be able to survive all this dive?
Bard makes a lot of sense. Nico also makes a lot of sense. You do not want to give that over to them and give them even more dive threats, especially when it's Peter on that side.
Yeah, I'm thinking, would you ban a Varus in this situation? Not Varus, sorry, it's already banned a Xayah. Would you ban a Xayah in this situation? So your engage can land a bit more reliably. Is that something you're concerned about that T1 could play? They could maybe play the Lucian Braum, but Lucian's quite short range into this.
Yeah. But
he has had some fantastic games. So they're going to ban the Poppy, which I think makes sense in terms of disengage it offers. Alistair comes through away from Peter. A lot of the engage support's taken away now.
Yeah, you still got stuff like, Rel. Rel's out there.
Rel kind of stands out.
Nautilus.
Engage supports left available. So you could just lock that one in. I don't think there's anything left that you're really too concerned about playing into.
Yeah.
Unless you're like really scared of like Lucian Braum coming.
Braum, yeah, that's what I was... Maybe they go for it. Let's see what the pick will be here. It will be the Nautilus.
I feel like that's kind of like, I don't think Rel matchup is as bad as the Nautilus into Lucian Braum. So I feel like T1 might just go for that here. That being said, it does feel a little bit bad not having amazing primary engage with the Galio, but to be fair, the enemy team is going to be diving into you. So I think you are going to get that value. I think KT probably just go like, they could just go Kai'Sa Nort if the lane matchup's okay.
Lucian and Braum.
Yeah.
The Braum's just so good into the Nautilus. The Lucian's got a dash. And it's a great bot duo, especially in game 2s of Fearless. And Ziggs.
Yeah, I think you can go the Ziggs here because you have AD top jungle with the Ambessa and the Wukong. A lot of melees on the enemy team, a short range composition. I think it works better than the Kai'Sa. The Kai'Sa's a bit too weak of a lane.
Yeah.
And you'll get so much value at the satchel into all these melee threats, and also, so credit to him.
The right skin and the right pick. Let's see what happens in game 2. Alrighty. Here we go. Game number 2. KT in the lead. And I know some of you out there were getting very ecstatic after that victory in game number 1. It was a close game. But now it's game 2. T1 were on blue side. And they've got Braum. They're going to try to go for the level 1 here with their Braum. But that extra damage does come out first from the guys hiding on bush. Hook does come in from Peter. Another Q does come through. There's the stun from the Annie. Definitely kind of on a knife's edge, but feels a bit better for KT here.
Yeah, Keria's low. He actually burned a health potion because he don't have to go back. And burn heal. So this is super favorable towards KT. Super scary to take that sort of trade into a Braum as well with how strong the level 1 is. But they navigated well. They expected the invade, right? You have a Braum, you want to do something like that. And KT coming up pretty heavily on top. Keria being so low in the early levels, where you expect to see the Lucian Braum try and have some dominance now on the back foot.
Yeah. Curious about this matchup for sure. The top lane.
I mean, we saw Perfect playing an unfavorable... Oh.
Guma's got the angle, gonna land the concussive blows, but does take hefty amount of damage himself. And now the heal's gonna come out just to save him there. More damage coming out from the bombs. Duckdom continues to run at them. Doesn't matter what pick he's playing today. He's got a vendetta against these guys.
Getting some good damage. Has to watch out for the level 2 here. Something to note is that you don't have a combat summon on the Ziggs because you have TP, but Guma went cleanse for the Annie. It's not really super high value. You can cleanse the Nautilus route, but it's not that valuable in lane. So as a result, it's kind of mostly about the heals, and they've both been burned. But some good trading. Oh, that was a good cue. Little fakey.
Yeah,
throws the Oner at Keria and the Guma.
That's beautiful. It's what you want to see. That one not gonna work as well.
Yep. A little bit of satchel damage there. And
they can hold the wave here.
Actually in a good spot. If they can hold this in front of the tower. That's pretty nice. Duckdom can even reset and teleport on the back of this.
And the wave even held pretty far up here by Perfect.
Yeah, Doran's gonna TP bot. But they have double TP on KT, so I think they're fine adjusting for this. Although it looks like they're not gonna TP bot. Looks like the wave is actually gonna bounce back. I think the minions were a bit too low that they try to hold.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they're really gonna be able to do anything about Doran as well. He's not really in a position where they can set up a dive. But they should be able to zone him off some CS as it pushes in. But yeah, the top lane matchup, I mean, we're not going to see much of it now, but we saw Perfect in a bit of an unfavorable matchup early. Now in a favorable matchup, so hopefully it goes well. Gumayusi, we talked about it being undefeated in the Rise group. It's just basically undefeated in general.
Yeah.
In the LCK round 3 to 5.
Who lost
very
on
well?
This? I remember that game. But I don't remember the teams. I remember the game and how it happened, but somebody did it.
Oh, BDD is just bullying Faker out here, and Oner looked like he was trying to come in for like a Reprieve gank to help out his mid laner, but when Faker's not HP, it's not a gank, it's a 1v1, you know? You're not able to help out your mid laner when he's that low. BDD putting a lot of pressure. Obviously, Galio, once you get some MR, it's not going to be as bad, but he's down already so far in terms of farm. Have to use the W just to soak up the damage there.
Yeah.
This is a great start for the Annie. The bot lane matchup's been going well. Dokdam is about 10 CS up on Guma. Lucian Brom has been doing well.
Yeah, 5-game winning streak after losing twice in Legend Group specifically.
That being said, those are the winning teams in Legend Group, you know?
Yeah.
It kind of says, I feel like that's the thing with some of the stats from Legend Group. It says something, it's like, well, the best teams are prioritizing it, which, you know,
yeah, exactly.
That's obviously good. And to be fair, those teams do play each other as well.
Yeah.
But they do also just win a lot.
Just feels like, as you were saying, like the prio in drafts, it does vary depending on which team it is. Oh, the satchel back. Doran has to flash. At least he's got flash and not exhaust in this game.
Some good moves there from Dokdam. And you see Cuz is actually shadowing Perfect, worried about potentially if like a diver's going to come in, but Oner's actually on the bot side. And I'm a little concerned for Dokdam and Peter in case something does come from a gank. But I think Doran's a little bit low and Faker's not in a position to move yet, so should be okay.
Tibbers available now for BDD. Could look to continue putting on a lot of pressure here.
The more pressure he keeps up on Faker, the harder it is for Faker to move, the more space the rest of BDD's team has. Speaking of move, it's always scary. This is the thing, if you have Prio on the Galio, whenever you clean a wave, you just move into the fog of war. And wherever you move, he's just immediately scared. You know, he moves topside, Perfect's like, oh, is something happening? He was just getting a ward down, nothing's to come from it. But the problem is Faker is struggling to get Prio. And now he's just had a bear drop in his head.
Tempo bear.
But he is getting to that point where you can just one-shot the wave, so he's taking a lot of damage, but...
Trying to move up towards the top side of the map. TP now coming out here from Peter, actually. Just to cover on the top side, and Swap is coming in once again.
Yeah, Perfect struggled a lot in the... Understandably, playing into the Lucian Braum, hard to really get farm. So he has fallen behind compared to Doran, but he has kept up an XP, which is the more important thing, but still not ideal. And Guma has also been able to farm up and make up the deficit he had against Dokdam. Dokdam will pick up a bit here as Guma is recalling.
Yeah. No first blood just yet. Just waiting as these guys are going to go head-to-head once again.
Yeah.
We've seen Oner on this Pantheon not really be able to find an angle early on in the game. And now both he and Cuz are going to be level 6. So Cuz able to get out of that early game drought of the Wukong.
Yeah, they're all obviously pretty powerful for the Wukong, but I will say Sundered Skies huge spike that Oner's going to access first. I feel the Wukong, once you get the 2-item spike, that's when you're just so strong, because you go the Sundered Skies second with the 5+ first.
Needles coming on out, perfect. In a little bit of trouble, has to flash the last set of needles.
Yeah, Doran really punishing Perfect here. Speaking of punishing.
Yeah, gonna be able to hook a little bit ahead. Doesn't really help him out there too much. Guma does take a bunch of damage on the backside from Dokdam, who's full health, but it's Zig, so, you know, sitting on Lost Chapter. Not a huge threat at this point in the game.
Oh, I think... Yeah, Perfect just ulted and found Doran there. Got a big trade back. Yeah, I mean, once you have Lost Chapter, you can just kind of clear the waves pretty effectively. And even though they got Peter low, you know, Guma's a bit low on mana. I think KT feeling somewhat confident here.
Yeah, looks like they want to go for the trade. They're just going all in on the Pantheon as down he goes. Oner 100-0, and now the turn on to Guma. Feeling pretty good. He's going to have to flash
the satchel.
Mega Inferno Bomb, and yeah, the satchel gets Keria back. It gets him in range of EDD. It's 2 kills for KT here in the early game.
I love the decisiveness there from KT. You know, so often Pantheon is a hard target to focus because of his E, stores so much damage. You could easily have seen that going wrong if they were a little bit hesitant with how they approached it, especially when there's a Braum around. You know, you could easily dump so much of your damage and it be negated, but they immediately explode Oner. The Galio ult comes down, it doesn't really amount to much. See how this goes. It's BDD goes for the stun after the Cyclone. Oner just doesn't get to play the game. And then they look here for Guma. He is forced to back away, forced to flash, and the satchel that comes through from Dam is perfect to set up the kill on the Keria. It's actually like he hit it with the ult, so that Keria didn't see it and didn't get to flash it.
We got a wah from BDD.
That's the reaction you want.
I mean, he's playing really well. Dam's playing really well. It's going to be hard, actually, for POM. Like, BDD did have an insane performance in Game 1, but if Dam begins to pop off on the Zigs...
I mean, Dam has to have a... He was really good Game 1, but BDD was insane. I think Dam has to have an insane Game 2 to kind of dethrone BDD, but he's still in the running. I think that is for sure.
Ziggs is definitely a lot flashier than Annie. I mean, Annie... She does her combo, so I guess that part is flashy, but it doesn't take a lot of finesse, you know?
Yeah.
So it's hard to garner a lot of POM.
Justice for Annie.
Yeah.
You know? There's definitely some champ. Rome is another one that's hard to get POM with. Yeah, no looking at the first dragon yet. Do you see... Keria was just in the vicinity, setting up some vision. I feel like this is an annoying thing about Galio, is that objectively BDD one lane, right, had the advantage, and now he just gets shoved in permanently because Faker has Merc Treads and a Ruby Crystal.
Yep. And eventually Hallowed Radiance.
Yep.
And then you really don't have any ability to do anything.
Oh, perfect.
Well,
he would have seen off that ward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pantheon's flying away, although now with Keria coming on over, potential dive brewing. Nobody else is up here. We do have a TP for BDD. Peter is ghosting up here as well. Will they try to help him is the question. Yes, they absolutely will, but the ult from Perfect is actually perfect. Gonna get on the backside of the turret, and now he's got the peel from his team. The bear comes down and turns this fight around. Doran and Keria just running tail between legs as they can't get away. Keria just trying to sacrifice himself, but the dominoes, one by one, are falling into the hands of KT once again. And they're getting the Infernal Drake. What aren't they getting, Ox?
What a play there from KT. Perfect, handling it so well, able to mitigate the dive with that ultimate, and then everyone's there to respond. You saw Peter ghosting over, running to get there, and Ziggs saying, oh, TP's coming in. Flank there from Galio. Will they be able to get out off this one? He has Satchel, he has Flash, he should be good.
He's going mid.
Yeah, he's not interested.
Yeah.
And Perfect, as you said, played this pretty perfectly. Ults manages to land on the Pantheon, get away from the tower.
Beautiful.
Peter comes in, buys him time. Great ult to knock them up. BDD CCs Faker under the tower, and then Tibbers is doing so much damage. Malignant's picked up, so doing a lot of work here. And then Peter says, you know what? I want one more. One more kill.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
카트 더블 왔어. 나 스킬 할 때. 당연 살아. 나이스!
I love Peter, man.
Nice.
And the vibe's going to be good because KT, with a series win here, if they close out this game where they have a 2,000 gold lead at 13 minutes, they skip playoffs. They lock it in. And perfect. This is the big spike for the Ambessa. You know, we talked about this matchup being favorable. This is really where it comes online. Despite the fact he's down in gold, down 300 gold, he has Eclipse. And that one item is so strong for the Ambessa in particular.
Yeah.
Doran has recalled and picked up the Riftmaker, but yeah. I would not want a Tango.
Doesn't quite hit the same. Oh, I love that sound. The little rubber ducky squeak.
You know what I love? If you look at the bottom left of your screen, you will have seen 2 points in the mines.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody does that who's not Chovy.
Yeah.
Chovy's just trying to reinvent the meta. He's trying to be hipster. He's trying to be like, back in my day, we maxed the satchel. All right, trying to bait this one here, but Peter also top side of the map. Otacon gonna come up here, remove that pixel brush.
He did just... Oh.
It's a lot of damage going into Gumi. It's a flash forward Q! outplayed by the Annie. Skooma did not see that damage coming. The Needles gonna do a hefty amount here. Oner is still in that brush.
You know, maybe you can win POM on Annie, you know? Maybe you can make the flashy plays, because I just saw BDD do one. Oh, the effect.
Okay. Well, didn't expect Oner to be there again. Nice flash away from Doran, but you're just not locking him down. T1 can't get anything in this game.
Oh, unlucky Peter didn't get the dredge line there, but... Oh!
All right.
Oh, man! Perfect is running circles around them, and if we're being honest, Perfect is the player on KT who has struggled the most. He is the player who's been challenged the most and who has had the most issues, and he is playing so well this series. Oh, this is it gets the stun, the Tibbers comes in, Dimar shredding that final flash Q.
Annie not difficult to play because she has very obvious constraints, right? Like the range on her Q, when her stun is available, right? Guma, he greeted for 1 minion. He's like, I should be okay. I'm going to get this minion. Yeah, I might get stunned. It's fine. I'm going to dash away, whatever. And that's what killed him. He was just dead. That was it.
Playing Lucian into stuff like Annie, Wukong, and Bessa, Nautilus, very thin margins for error.
Yeah.
If you're in range to auto anyone, you're in range to be brutalized.
Yeah.
You're in range to be in the receiving end of some pretty nasty combos, if we're being honest. And Guma experienced that in that play.
He definitely did. Keria desperate to try to take down this ward. They're going to look for an engage, but now the turn comes in on a Guma, who doesn't have his flash anymore. Just getting brutalized once again. TP is coming in as Doran, trying to do something, immediately just evaporates. And T1 again, just having the door shut in their face at every single corner.
Where has this team been? This KT. The last time we saw this KT
who are these
road
guys?
to MSI.
Yeah.
It's the same 5 members we saw there, but it just feels like we haven't seen this play, and it's coming at the perfect time, leading up to playoffs against T1, who in the best form of the LCK. And right now, Game 1 was a back and forth where it was super close, super tense, and it felt like it was incremental, these moments that came down to one big shove from BDD. This is not, this is a stomp right now. This is KT dominating T1 for the first time in such a long time. We see here, Dr. gets threatened here initially. He gets ulted, satchels away, as he should.
Wow.
Goes back in with the ult. Also, the redemption comes down, but Dr. actually bought Oblivion Orb, so he reduces the healing by a good amount. And then they just explode Doran. No counterplay.
Yeah. You can win POM on Annie. It is possible.
Oh, yeah. We are seeing that in front of us.
Yeah. If you are BDD and you're making plays, it is possible. And, you know, a lot of times in best of threes where the first game is super tight, super tense, and then it just gets blown open.
Oh!
Wow. Oh, the curved hook comes through, and Faker is going to have to flash over the wall. They are looking to continue this. Nobody else is here, so it just looks like he is donezo. Oh, okay. Little taunt. Little chance here. And another hook comes through. And the extension on the Wukong as well. As now Perfect's like, you want to dive me? You're not going to do that. I'm just going to take you down. Guma and Keria are just watching over the wall.
Bogdan cleared the wave, so then Doran ended up getting aggro. And now the heralding bot, they're going to get this tower. KT just can't stop winning in this game. That's a good use of Herald.
Yeah, good. Yeah, perfect.
It just feels like everything's going right for them in this game. Every single thing that can go right does go right.
Yeah.
And if you flip the names, I'd have believed it. But KT just having the series of their lives. We'll see the play here. So initially Doran's proxying here. The jump comes in from Oner, but the ult clears the wave. And then he ends up getting aggro with
Here we go again. Oner behind enemy lines, just dead. Faker and Keria in there. Doran trying to take a 1v1 against a Ziggs. Can barely do it. As Faker trying to get over as well. And BDD is going to get revenge for that 100%. Q comes through. And Faker as well eventually will go down. Just wasting their time. And KT are just running the map right now.
Well, T1 got a kill at least. So
They got one.
it's a small consolation prize. But they try and set up here on Perfect, but BDD's already there, Peter's already there, and I feel like the map awareness from KT has been so good on where they need to be. Unfortunately, Dr. ends up in this really not optimal spot. Also, he did satchel a little bit aggressively there and dies for it. Shutdown goes over to Doran, but BDD just immediately answers, and everyone else is just getting... Guma just walks back to mid-wave, and you know what? That was the best decision.
That's the right call.
100% the best decision made for T1 here. He's like, you know what, you guys have got that. I'm gonna go farm mid.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is if you look at the deaths, everyone has 3 deaths and Guma only has 2, because that was the time.
I wonder why.
That was the time he said, I'm not coming along anymore.
Yeah.
You guys have done too much of this stuff.
There's something to be said about sticking together as a team, but when the team is sticking together and diving and just kind of dying, do you really want to stick together with the team? I don't believe so. Damage dealt goes Duck Dom, BDD perfect, and then Doran with the needles.
Yeah. I do think also, I mentioned it earlier, but the Oblivion Orb, earlier Oblivion Orb pickups, it's a really good item for Ziggs. He's really good at applying it, Ziggs is.
Yeah.
Better if you have like a dot item.
Okay, well.
That was a misclick, I believe.
Yeah.
Direction. Maybe a little jump scare from the invisible Wukong, but wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I was saying,
Insult to injury here.
with Sundered Sky and Redemption being so popular, I feel like Oblivion Orb early has gained a lot more popularity. And
Yeah.
Zig's so good at applying it. Better if he has like a dot item, like
Light Fire Torch first.
but still really good. And Perfect.
He just keeps going in, and this time, no, he's going to be totally fine. The follow-up comes in from Peter and from BDD. And even with all these damage dealers on the side of T1, yes, the 1 kill goes over to the Gwen. But they're taking the Otacon while this is happening. As, yeah, just going to use the heal just to get out of dodge. He's got Ghost as well, if need be.
Look, this game is looking... It's just constant wins for KT. And right now, it's pretty clear that BDD is going to get POM. I'm going to be voting for BDD.
Oh, yeah.
But
this is 14 out of 14.
But I really want to praise Perfect, who's going for these crazy aggressive plays, making them work. And the thing is, BDD has been playing good all year. Perfect has been struggling. And this series, he's just looked like a different player.
Yeah.
If Perfect continues to play like this, KT are going to be a real threat. And I really hope he does, because it's... You know, game 1, he stood up to Doran in a matchup that was weaker, and this game he was just flourishing. He's been targeted by T1, and he's just soaked the pressure, turned it around, and made some phenomenal plays. This is the Perfect that KT've been hoping for.
Yeah, and it's going to be great. Just the fact that he's playing well, Duck Dom's playing well, Peter also playing well, even though he's not the star player of the series. It feels like they're firing on all cylinders.
Peter in general, you know, Peter's just, he's
Peter,
king of vibes.
The vibes, yeah.
King of vibes.
The Naisu, you know, at the right time.
Let's be honest, that won the series.
That was the moment when we knew.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was. I mean, that was kind of the fight in the top lane when it was all over. Hextech Soul, by the way. KT going to get Hextech Soul points very early on, 22 minutes.
And that's the thing, when you talk about vibes as well, a win like this, because obviously this is going to secure playoffs for KT.
Yeah.
But even if they secured playoffs without winning this, think how much of a morale boost this win against T1 is going to be. Because going into playoffs, if they beat Nongshim again and made playoffs, but they hadn't beaten one of the top teams, it's easy to think, well, okay, we made it, but then what? But taking down T1 in this manner is going to mean so much.
Well, Keria, somebody's got to get vision, and it's going to be the Braum.
Oh, he just got exploded.
He really did. I mean, Duck Dom is... He's pretty large at this point.
He's pumping the numbers.
Not to mention the rest of the team.
He is doing the boom boom.
But it helps that you've got a Ziggs who's been untouched for Shadow Flame's second.
Yeah. He knows. He knows how to do maximum damage.
He's actually dealing damage. Stunned up forever was Doran. Basically dies to culling. Finally going to come out here as the Super Mega Bomb is not really going to do a whole lot. Mega Inferno Bomb, but just looking for the kill on the backside of that fight, I suppose. And the wave is cleared, and T1 pushed out.
Yeah, so T1 able to defend there. TP coming in, but for what? mid tower, perhaps?
Yeah.
Baron's not up for 45. That's the sort of time where you TP when Baron's up, and you're like,
Yeah.
it's Baron time. But Baron's not up, so it's not Baron time. But they will get mid tower, potentially. They'll try and get mid tower.
I mean, Zig's TPing back in. Peter, as long as he front lines. Yeah, I mean, they're taking huge amounts of damage. At least the miss is going to help out. Goop! Yeah, Peter just tanks it up.
That was the 3 layers of they'll get mid tower, they'll try and get mid tower, they won't get mid tower, you know? They're in a rough spot. They're trying for anything. It is objective bounties. They're trying to pick things up, but it's just so difficult right now. And a short-range composition into what KT have, all these threats to short-range champs, and this Ziggs who is just melting. It's really hard to play from here.
Yeah. And, you know, this isn't DNF, you know, playing up against Bro, where it is possible to throw leads like this. I feel like KT in current form, it's going to be extremely difficult for them to throw this lead, as now the ult comes in. Oner just blasted away once again. Taunt comes in, but it's only on the front line. Keria is dead. Faker is also dead. KT playing as a 5-man unit as T1 run in 1 by 1.
It feels bad for Doctam because he throws his ult up and everyone's dead by the time it hits the ground.
Yeah.
They're doing so much damage. T1 trying to establish vision, just get destroyed. You know, it just feels like there's nothing KG can really do to mess up fights with this much of a lead.
Perfect wants the angle. He absolutely does. He's got the TP in from BDD, but he doesn't have his ult anymore. Trying to kill Peter is the most difficult thing to do for T1 right now, and instead they're just feeding 2 kills over to Perfect. I think T1 knows it. We all know it. This game is over at this point. KT just way too far ahead. Now they have a Red Bull Baron power play.
Yeah, everything in their favor. It's a minute 45 till Hextech Soul again. They have feats of strength. They have Adakan. They have Baron. They're about to get Soul.
They have
and
Peter.
Here, they're going for the Q, dodge the return CC with the Winter's Bite from Keria, and then just going aggressive. T1 trying to turn around. There's nothing really you can do from this deficit. It's pretty over. I do like here is the culling comes out and BDD just puts Tibbers in the way and just tries to block with it. It soaks him so much of it. So annoying to play into as a Lucian, and then he just dies after going for the kill. And yeah, you get the support. And what? Oh, Doran. He senses something.
Yeah. Smartly gonna back away. Really, it's all done but the crying here. KT just gotta push in, push with the Ziggs, you know, make sure everybody's safe. The flash and the satchel away. You're not touching the Ziggs, says Duckdom. As everybody is in the meat grinder, tons of damage. Yes, was blocked by the Braum. As Ingo's perfect, maybe a little bit too deep, but he's just unkillable anyway. He got away after all of that. Just insane. And that is the power of the gigantic wallets. KT absolutely obliterating T1 in the second game, and they will take the 2-0 tonight.
Game 1 was a massive fight, a massive stroll, and a long-fought victory over T1. But